Most people think aging faster comes from eating sugar, skipping workouts, or not sleeping enough. And yes, those things matter. But after almost 8 decades of life, I've learned that there's another reason many people overlook completely. In fact, most people have never even heard about it. I certainly didn't understand it in my 40s. And looking back now, I truly wish someone had explained this to me earlier. Because what I'm about to talk about may affect your sleep, your joints, your skin, your energy, your digestion, and even the way your body handles stress as you get older. What surprises me most is this. The nutrient behind all of this is still considered non-essential, even though many experts now believe the body may need far more of it than most people are getting. The nutrient is called glycine. Now technically, glycine is classified as a non-essential amino acid, because the body can produce some of it naturally. But here's the important part many people never hear. Just because the body can make something does not always mean it makes enough. That's the missing piece. Some researchers estimate the body may need around 15 grams of glycine daily for optimal support throughout the body. But the average person only produces a small amount naturally, and most modern diets provide very little extra. Over time, that gap may quietly affect many parts of the body without people realizing it. And honestly, when I started learning more about this, so many things from my younger years suddenly made sense. Back then, I thought getting older simply meant your joints hurt more, your skin changed, your sleep became lighter, and your body recovered slower. I assumed that was just life. But now I see something else may also be happening. The modern diet changed dramatically from the way people used to eat generations ago. Years ago, people used much more of the whole animal. They consumed slow-cooked soups, broth, skin, connective tissue, cartilage, and collagen-rich foods regularly. Today, most people prefer soft cuts of meat, processed foods, quick meals, and convenience. And while many people still eat protein, they may not be getting enough of the specific building blocks the body relies on for long-term support. That's where glycine becomes interesting. Because glycine is found in much higher amounts inside collagen-rich foods. And collagen is deeply connected to many structures throughout the body. Your skin contains collagen. Your joints contain collagen. Your tendons, ligaments, bones, blood vessels, and even parts of your digestive system all rely on collagen in some way. So when the body does not have enough of the raw materials it needs, it begins prioritizing. And this is something I think more people should understand. The body is incredibly intelligent. When nutrients are limited, it focuses first on survival. It directs resources toward the systems that matter most immediately. Things like oxygen transport, cell repair, and essential metabolic functions take priority, which means other areas may receive less support over time. That may help explain why some people notice thinning hair, fragile nails, slower recovery, stiff joints, or skin changes as they age. The body may simply be trying to do the best it can with limited resources. One thing I found especially interesting is glycine's connection to sleep and relaxation. Many people over 50 say the same thing. I'm tired, but I can't fully relax. Or they wake up in the middle of the night and struggle to settle back down. Now, of course, there can be many reasons for poor sleep, but glycine is involved in pathways connected to calming the nervous system. And some people report that supporting healthy glycine intake helps them feel more relaxed in the evening. Again, this is not magic. And it's not about quick fixes, but it may be one of those small missing pieces people overlook for years. I also started paying attention to digestion. As we age, many people notice they don't process heavy meals the same way they once did. Energy feels lower after eating. Digestion feels slower. Certain foods feel harder to tolerate. Part of this may relate to bile production, which helps the body process fats and absorb important nutrients. Glycine plays a role there too. And when you step back and look at the bigger picture, you begin realizing how interconnected the body really is. Nothing works alone. Sleep affects recovery. Recovery affects energy. Energy affects movement. Movement affects mood. And nutrition supports all of it underneath the surface. Another area people rarely connect to aging is the body's ability to handle everyday stress. Not emotional stress only. I mean physical stress too. Environmental exposure, processed foods, lack of sleep, busy lifestyles. Over time, the body works constantly behind the scenes trying to maintain balance. And certain nutrients are involved in those protective processes every single day. That's why I've become much more careful about focusing on nourishment instead of chasing trends. For years, people argued endlessly about carbs, fats, sugar, seed oils, and complicated diets. Meanwhile, many people may simply be undernourished in ways nobody talks about, especially older adults. And unfortunately, aging itself can sometimes make it harder for the body to maintain healthy muscle, connective tissue, and recovery. That's why paying attention to foundational nutrition becomes more important with time, not less. I'll tell you something personal. When I was younger, I constantly dealt with little injuries. My joints felt weak. I recovered slowly. I had periods where my sleep was terrible. I also ate a very poor diet for many years. Fast food, processed meals, very little homemade cooking, almost no collagen-rich foods. At the time, I never connected those habits to how I felt physically. Now, looking back, I wonder how much my body was simply missing the raw materials it needed all along. And today, I notice something very different in people who regularly include collagen-rich foods in a balanced diet. Many of them say they feel stronger, more stable, and more resilient as they age. Not younger overnight, not transformed magically, just better supported. And honestly, that's what healthy aging is really about. Supporting the body consistently over time, not searching for miracles. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs complicated supplements. In many cases, simple habits matter most. Slow-cooked broths, collagen-rich meals, balanced nutrition, adequate vitamin C intake, since vitamin C is also important for collagen formation. These are the kinds of things people used to consume naturally without overthinking them. And perhaps our bodies still recognize that pattern today. One thing I strongly recommend is paying attention to what your body has been quietly telling you for years. Stiffness, poor recovery, sleep struggles, weak nails, joint discomfort, changes in skin elasticity. Sometimes the body whispers long before it starts shouting, and often, small, consistent improvements matter more than extreme changes. Because healthy aging is rarely about doing one dramatic thing. It's usually about giving the body enough support, enough nourishment, enough movement, enough rest, and enough patience over a long period of time. And if there's one lesson I wish I understood decades ago, it's this. Your body is always working for you. Even when you feel tired, even when recovery slows down, even when aging feels frustrating. The body keeps trying to repair, adapt, and protect you every single day. Sometimes it simply needs better support to do its job well. And there's one more thing I think many people overlook when they talk about aging. People often focus only on appearance, wrinkles, gray hair, sagging skin. But real aging happens much deeper than what we see in the mirror. It happens in the quality of our movement, in our recovery, in our flexibility, in our balance, in the way we feel waking up each morning. That's why I no longer believe healthy aging is about trying to look young. I think it's about staying capable, being able to walk comfortably, getting up from a chair without struggle, sleeping peacefully, keeping your independence, feeling steady and confident in your own body. And surprisingly, many of these things connect back to the body's structural support system, your tendons, your ligaments, your cartilage, your connective tissue. These structures quietly support every movement you make all day long. But unlike muscles, people rarely think about them until discomfort appears. And here's what's interesting. Collagen is one of the primary proteins found in those tissues, which means nutrients connected to collagen production may matter far more than many people realize as they get older. I also find it fascinating how different generations used to eat compared to today. Years ago, homemade soups simmered for hours, Families cooked with bones, skin, connective tissue. Nothing was wasted. Today, many people eat plenty of calories but very little nourishment that truly supports the body long-term. Convenience replaced tradition. And sometimes modern eating habits move us further away from what helped previous generations stay resilient. Now, I know some people hear the word collagen and immediately think about beauty products. But this conversation goes far beyond appearance. Your arteries also rely on strong connective tissue. Your gut lining depends on healthy structural support. Even mobility and physical stability may be affected by how well the body maintains these tissues over time. And as the years pass, the body may naturally produce collagen less efficiently. That's why supporting it nutritionally becomes more important with age. Another thing worth mentioning is recovery after physical activity. Many people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s notice that small physical efforts feel bigger than they once did. A long walk, gardening, lifting groceries, even climbing stairs. Recovery simply takes longer. And while aging is naturally part of life, proper nourishment may still help support how the body handles those demands. I've also noticed many older adults become afraid of movement because of stiffness or discomfort. But often, gentle, consistent movement combined with proper nutrition may actually help the body feel more supported over time. Walking, stretching, light strength exercises, daily mobility. These simple habits matter tremendously. Not for chasing perfection, but for maintaining quality of life. And honestly, quality of life becomes more valuable with every passing year. One thing I wish more people understood is that the body rebuilds slowly, especially later in life. That means consistency matters more than intensity. Extreme diets usually don't last. Punishing exercise routines often backfire. Quick fixes rarely solve long-term problems. But small, supportive habits repeated daily can make a remarkable difference over time. And this applies not only to nutrition, but to sleep, stress, hydration, movement, and mindset too. Everything works together. That's why I always encourage people to think long-term. Not, how do I feel tomorrow, but how do I want to feel 5 years from now? That question changes everything. Because the choices we repeat quietly shape the future version of ourselves. And the beautiful thing is, the body often responds positively even to small improvements. It's never about becoming perfect overnight. It's about creating better conditions for the body to function well. I also want to mention something important for older adults specifically. Appetite often changes with age. Some people eat less protein, some skip meals. Others rely heavily on processed convenience foods because they're easier. But unfortunately, this can slowly reduce the body's access to important building materials over time. That's why balanced nourishment matters so much later in life. Simple, nutrient-rich meals can go a long way. And no, this does not mean becoming obsessed with food or restrictive eating. Quite the opposite. I believe healthy aging should feel sustainable and peaceful, not stressful. The goal is not fear. The goal is support. Support the body, support recovery, support movement, support sleep, support resilience. Because when you consistently support the body, many things begin working better together naturally. And maybe that's the biggest lesson I've learned with age. The body is not your enemy. It's not failing you. Most of the time, it's adapting to years of stress, habits, deficiencies, and wear, while still trying its best to keep going. That deserves respect. So if you've been feeling more tired lately, more stiff, more fragile, more drained after simple activities, don't ignore those signals. Pay attention gently. Start supporting your body more intentionally. Sometimes the smallest changes practiced consistently become the biggest gifts to your future self. And if I could go back and tell my younger self one thing, it would probably be this. Stop waiting for serious problems before taking care of your body. Support it now, nourish it now, protect it now. Because healthy aging is not built in one day. It's built quietly through the small choices we repeat for years. Before you go, I'd really love to hear from you. What part of this video connected with you the most? And where are you watching from today? I always enjoy seeing people from different parts of the world coming together here to share experiences, wisdom, and healthy aging habits. If you have a daily routine or simple habit that has helped you feel stronger, calmer, or healthier as you've gotten older, feel free to share it in the comments too. Your experience may help someone else more than you realize. And if you found this conversation helpful, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future videos focused on healthy aging, daily wellness, and simple habits that may help you feel your best as the years go by.